My face currently feels like I've been run through by Tom Stewart.
Puts it to the top of the square. Oh, beautiful little fist in there by Dale. Crucial centimetre moments.
He definitely has a bit of the Belcho spirit, as I have a bit of the Belcho spirit.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the podcast that had to take a hiatus last week after being outraged that Cal Wilkie not only missed the team, but the squad. And once again, Sam Collins was snubbed for All-Australian. This is The Back Pocket. My name is Jack, and I'm joined, as always, by Alistair for our last home and away episode of the year, being recorded very late.
We'll do our Last Neighbours episode next week.
We moved house. It was a lot. But we are, excuse the echo, we are in a significantly larger room than we were in previously.
Yeah, we're going to do an ASMR episode.
It's a very quiet podcast. So the big game happened, Freo won, which...
Yeah, we predicted that they were likely to lose, but they stuck fat, and they showed that they could.
Were really good. Alex Pearce did a great job on Darcy.
He sure did.
Obviously, we'll get to some of those things later, but... It poses a really interesting contest tomorrow night, Saturday night. I'm lost. What day
Saturday night is the Freo
Saturday
game.
night, yeah. Where like it's two teams with a really high ceiling, but also with a really low floor. I think it'll be like it could be a great game or a terrible game both ways.
I also feel like overall we're underselling how good the four finals are, because obviously Collingwood Adelaide has the story.
Geelong Brisbane has been great for years.
History
now.
And obviously the GWS Hawthorn game is kind of being pushed to the side a bit. But those are both very good teams who missed out.
They were pretty feisty last year.
Yeah.
Last time they played as well against each other. Freo Gold Coast is just such a similar matchup in terms of like a youngest
those
teams.
Those midfields are going to be
great midfields. Yeah. And then like I've written a piece for we're doing previews in This Week in Football this week, and I took that game being the WA writer in the. Well, because someone took the Geelong game. And I just kind of wrote how interesting, like obviously the midfield matchup with your Sarong, Brayshaw, Rowell, Anderson is really interesting. But then also on the flip side of that, matching up Pearce on King and Collins on Voss. Two players who it's been proven in recent weeks by other top 8 teams that if you can take them out of the game, you heavily influence the forward structure of those teams. That's so true. So like I'm interested to see how they try and work them, if they've learned lessons from those teams as well. So...
Yeah, definitely Freo want to play Voss as the aggressor, so we'll see how that works.
Collins takes those players out of the game quite well. Anyway, should we jump into some votes? Even though it's been ages since these games have played.
It's been so good because I've forgotten everything.
Who's your one vote, I guess?
I'm giving one vote to Harris Andrews.
Okay.
Yeah. So, obviously, we all know Harris Andrews is incredible. Probably should have been the captain of the All-Australian team, if we're being honest. Brisbane and Hawthorn played a really tight game. And whilst it's probably not Andrews' best defensive numbers game, he was obviously a rock. We've remarked on how he's been playing the last couple of weeks. He's bringing people into it. He's celebrating. He's enjoying just the defensive aspect. He had 18 disposals. I do apologise, my notes got deleted, so I'm running off the website. But he had... all my intercept stats are gone too. This sucks. Do you got any stats for him?
I don't. He is in my special mentions this week. He didn't lead any stats. He was good. I did have him...
Just assume.
Yeah, you know Harris Andrews is good. It's the one vote. We don't need to go too deep on it anyway. That's fine. My one vote was to Darcy Byrne-Jones, who it's funny how good formerly All-Australian halfbacks look when you put them back to halfback instead of far forward. I had 18 disposals, half of those were intercepts. He had 7 of those contested, 5 marks, 5 score involvements and 1 score launch. He got a coach's vote for his troubles. He was really good. A lot of us kind of anticipated that would happen. We talked about it on the show leading up to it, that game for Ken and Boak, that Port were going to turn it on. And they really did. It was almost the best they've played this year. But it didn't matter anyway because the Suns got it done against Essendon in the biggest win in their club history a week later. But yeah, Port got a nice little season finisher for 2 of their favourite Suns.
Yeah, it was one of those things that when it was happening, we went, Ken Tax. They really love that guy.
Yeah.
So why didn't we expect them to show up? It did show like a weakness on Gold Coast side.
When teams get a hold of them, we've seen it
Yeah.
this year. When they really get grabbed by the throat, they do kind of crumble under the pressure a bit. We saw it the first time they played Brisbane against GWS West a couple of weeks ago. That matchup against Geelong. And Adelaide recently as well, but they bounced back well this year, which is something they weren't doing previously. Like they went from the Adelaide loss to beat Brisbane by almost 10 goals. So,
And I think it'll be interesting to see where Darcy Byrne-Jones does play going forward, because he has been good in that small lockdown forward role.
Just not the same as he was off half-back, where he was really damaging. But
it's good to have
Rosie back there, and they've got Bergman back there and whatever. So, who was your 2?
I'm giving my 2 to Mason Redman.
Mason Redman was also a special mention.
Cool, we're going to have some
he was
mixed...
4th down on my special mentions list.
I thought he was really, really good in a loss, and I'm talking the Carlton game, not the Gold
He
Coast
was
game.
really good. We joked about how if he got 2 lots of 10...
Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah.
But he had 9 marks, 3 of which were intercepts. He had 34 touches at 85%, 655 metres gained, 8 rebounds, 50, and he won both of his contested one-on-ones, which for a rebounding defender is good. My stats from that game saved. Everything that I did yesterday and the day before, gone. So I can give you the stats for Mason Redman.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad we've got the Mason Redman stats. And we quite like Mason Redman around here.
Yeah, we like the bull.
I liked when he had the long hair, not because it looked good on him, but because it made him stand out more.
Yeah, it was easy to tell him apart. And it's funny because like he does the bull celebration and I go, yep, that's a good one. And you see someone like Dursman do the arrow and you're like, oh, that's gross.
It's just because the bull's silly.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel showboaty. It's just really dumb.
Yeah.
I like it. My 2 votes was to Stephen May this week.
He's in my special mentions.
He very nearly held them up against Collingwood. They probably should have won that game again, like the last time they played Collingwood.
They've got a bad losing streak against a couple of clubs in Type 1s.
If they won all of their games they lost by 2 goals or less this year, they would have made the finals.
That's crazy.
And they sacked their coach because of it, which is and I feel like they had to make that change, but it is a weird one where like they were marginal from being a top 6 side. Anyway, Stephen May, who knows if he'll even be there next year, had 23 disposals, 9 of those were intercepts, 12 marks, 6 of those were intercepts. He had 10 rebound 50s, won all 4 of his one-on-ones, 439 metres gained, which is not usually his style.
Not his bag.
3 score involvements, 2 launches, 1 coach's vote, and 10 player rating. He was good, really good. He might be hard to get along with at the club, but he is very good at football. So
Yeah, not Milk's favourite, that's for sure.
no, or Gorn's recently.
Okay, so I am going to do my 3 votes.
3 votes.
And I'm just going to the website because I got my things
Get the stats
deleted.
up. Yeah, that is
Should have
good.
done it while I was listening to you. My 3 votes is to Tom Stewart.
Tom Stewart is the 3rd on my special
Holy
mentions
crap,
list.
we're going way
He's
off
going to be
this week.
a whole off.
Don't say that.
I did think Tom Stewart was good. He just got the Richmond tax for me.
That's where I was saying to you before, slop game. But he had 9 marks, 9 intercept possessions. He had 9 rebound 50s, 7 score involvements, 5 of which were launches. He won his only contested one-on-one, 4 spoils. I thought he was really good. Obviously, there is a Richmond tax, but we have both noted that he's been quite good the last few weeks.
I did think that he was almost clearly best on ground in that game, even though Bailey Smith will probably get the votes. That Geelong have willed him back into form by playing weaker sides. He clearly had a knee injury earlier in the year that they didn't rest him through.
He sure did.
And he has seemingly recovered from that. I did also find it funny that, pretty close to how many years to the date when he killed Prestia, there was a moment in that game where he almost could have done it without it being a reportable offence, and he pulled out so fast and he got booed the whole game, which is, I think, completely fair. I'm not going to knock that one. That was a horrible act.
Crazy hit.
But yeah, it was just so funny to see him, like, you could see his brain being like, oh, not again. Like, he just had to, like, step around someone. My 3 votes this week was to Jack Sinclair, who the Saints really almost did that. I was thinking they were going to for a bit, and it would have been so St Kilda. Like, the late season wins they've strung together again this year, much like last year.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't be a false dawn this time, but we talked about it last year. Like, we're like, I'm not optimistic about this because now it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He had 34 disposals at 91. He had 5 of those were intercepts and 10 were contested. He had 12 rebound 50s, 757 metres gained. He was really good. He is good, we know, but not used as a midfielder at all this week, just off that running half-back role. I think him and Wangani Miller have completely swapped now.
Yeah.
Now that and NASA's just completely midfield. Sinclair can go back to that rebounding role that he plays so well,
Yeah.
which I think is better for them.
And if they need to, in case of emergency, they can pull the trigger and swap that or move Wanganeen Miller off forward.
And he is still making really nice hats for his friends in his little caravan at the back of his house.
He sure is.
He loves making a hat, and then he makes this little weird noise at the end of the episode.
You hear a weird noise there. My
Wow.
microphone fell over. Yo!
You. Who was your 4 votes this week?
My 4 votes is to Jacob Wiedering from the Carlton
Wiedering
Football
was
Club.
my second top special mention.
That's
Which is
crazy.
crazy because there's still one ahead of all of these.
So Jacob Wiedering, he had 10 intercepts, 9 marks, 7 of those being intercept marks, 13 touches at 100%, 5 spoils, and at least 2 of those were really fucking good spoils on Zach Merritt to stop him kicking a goal.
That one where he just like came through him and it was like a full legal.
Which you could say is mean-spirited. Zach Merritt probably deserved a goal, but
Yeah, but it was funny.
3 score involvements, 2 of which were launches. He won both his contested one-on-ones. I feel like that game would have been very, very different had Wiedering not been playing the way he was, and that's the way I was hoping he would play all year.
Almost felt unfair the way that every time Essendon went inside 50, it was just Wiedering bowling some people over. Like it was a full body game from him.
And it's
It was fun. It was fun to
it's a
watch.
good sign that if you get the right support with him next year, whoever it may be, there's life after Jack Silvagni, who played 13 games this year.
Yeah. When he had a long string of 5 or 6 games in a row at the start of the year, they were making a nice pair. But, that's one of those things where you just need the consistency.
Yep.
And when you get it really improves. So we know Wiedering's good.
Yeah.
Don't need to tell us twice.
Former medal winner.
My 4 votes this week was to Alex Pearce.
Alex Pearce is my 5.
I thought he might be 5. He was close for me, but
I moved to
not quite. Obviously, he only had 8 disposals, but 6 of those were intercepts and 6 were contested. His only mark was a contested intercept mark. He had 4 score involvements of his own and 2 score launches, and kept
From 8 disposals.
half of his disposals ended up being score involvements, and in the meantime kept Darcy to only 4 score involvements and 0 goals won. He was awesome.
Yep.
He has just turned it on a couple of times this year. Which has been great to see, but it was just it was a different game to what he's been playing all year, where he's been like roaming around loose. He just stuck to like an old school key defender game, and he's one of the only blokes tall enough to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Like being over 2 meters really gives him that assistance. He doesn't look it. Well, when you see him in person, he fucking does.
Oh yeah,
crouching down the back of like venues, but like
It
he
would
doesn't look it
suck
on the
being that tall.
field,
I feel bad all the time
but
when it
he
comes
is.
to it.
He's a very tall man. But he was really good. So I guess
Your
my
5.
5 is to Darcy Wilmot.
Yeah.
He had 27 disposals, 9 of which were intercepts. He had 7 marks, 3 which were intercepts, 8 rebound 50s, 526 metres gained, 6 score involvements and 3 launches.
Yeah.
8 coaches' votes, 14 rating points. He, like the way they had to cover for Neil by pushing people into the midfield, and he just played that half-back role to cover everyone else so well. He's been a real find for them. Like obviously we knew he was good, but he's really stepped up this year. There's no fear for life after Zorko anymore. I think that they're with him and Fletcher.
Yeah,
they're
and
fine.
and the potential of Coleman
Coleman
coming
coming
back,
back, yeah.
if he doesn't leave.
He's had a great season.
Yeah.
I think he'll do really well. Like in best and fairest counts are so different to everything else. I think he will be really high polling in their best and fairest
Yeah, I reckon.
internally. My special mentions that we didn't cover. My top special mention for the week was Brennan Cox.
Yeah, I had
he
him in my
was
list.
Awesome. Like, he did everything that Pearce normally does.
Yeah.
Instead of Pearce doing it. And then in order, Wiedering, Stewart, Redmond, as we covered. Lockie Ash.
Yeah.
I thought Archie Roberts was really good this
I had
week.
Archie Roberts. I actually had way too many down from that Carlton Essendon game because I actually thought Ollie Holland's really good off halfback as well.
It was a weird game because it wasn't necessarily good.
No.
A lot of the defenders played really well, which I guess is due to everyone kicking it to them. I thought Blakey was really good.
Yes, I've got Blakey down.
Even when Sydney were not good in the first half, and Carl Amon has had a great year.
He's been really killing
He and
the
Impey
game
have
in
just
the back half.
paired on that back half
Yeah.
so well. I did round highs and season highs this week, so I did a recap.
Oh, sure.
So round highs, spoils were Cox with 13, intercepts was McCartan with 14, Wiedering with intercept marks 7, Battle won 6 out of 6 one-on-ones.
Damn.
Ryan and Sinclair had 12 rebound 50s each. Harris Andrews had the most spoils total. Darcy Moore had the highest average for the year. Taylor was intercept marks total and average, which considering he missed 6 games is nuts.
Yeah.
Jacob Wiedering had the best contested loss rate.
I feel like we've seen that
almost every year.
Yeah.
He won 48 of his 55 one-on-ones this year.
Damn.
Which is less one-on-ones than he normally has.
I do
but
feel
Young took a few more of them, I think.
And I feel like there are some situations where he was way off a lead that don't get counted.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't think it was his strongest year, but obviously
And then
one-on-one still.
Rebound 50s, Luke Ryan.
Makes sense.
Both average and total.
Yeah.
The most one-on-one neutralisations for a key defender this year was Darcy Moore.
Interesting.
Just due to being in 15 more than Wiedering. And he only had a 17% loss rate, which was one of the highest.
We have talked about him being not as sharp
some
this
of the
year.
things he did that were like brain fades he had that he normally wouldn't, which is obviously why they were hunting Silvagni.
He's obviously still a very good player.
So bad, right? Like he just needs that assistance.
Yeah.
Which is what I am concerned about with them in that first final. Is with no Howe down there. McStay he's listed as omitted, but I'm sure it was an injury concern they talked about during the week. But Cox has come in for McStay, so McStay can't even swing back.
I read that the wrong way around. So Cox is playing.
Cox is playing for McStay.
Oh, we can get into that in a bit.
Anyway, with an unassailable lead, unless miracles happen this week, makes Harris Andrews the winner of this year's Scarlett-Silvagni Medal.
Do the maths. You got to do it on live on the podcast.
You want me to do it live? I'll bring up the actual votes. I won't necessarily add the totals because I don't think anyone else we voted for this week is in the top 5. But you got 1 vote, Harris Andrews, this week from you, right?
Yeah. No.
2? What?
Yeah, 1, sorry.
Ladders. Harris Andrews was leading Sam Taylor 57 to 35 before this weekend.
So it's 58 now.
I added them on last week. I didn't put them live on the website. I did the coaches' votes. So he's gone up to 58 votes. Taylor didn't get any.
So he's won by what, 20?
Howe didn't get any. Howe was on 29. Wilkie didn't get any on 28. Keane didn't get any on 23.
Yeah.
Flostone didn't get any on 22.
Yeah.
Clark didn't get any on 20, and neither did Worrell, also on 20. Jack Henry on 18 didn't get any. Josh Battle on 17 didn't get any. Radagalier on 15 didn't get any.
Radigalier's 15.
He had 10.
What was Pierce on before this week? Because we have 9.
10, I think.
So he would go up to 19. So
He was on 6, sorry. So he's on, yeah.
Okay.
So
He was
15.
only on 6.
So he jumps into the top 20.
We titled at least 2 episodes after him.
It's 'cause yeah, for kicking goals and knocking blokes out.
Yeah, okay, alright. You don't get votes for that?
The first one, he legally killed a man. And the second one, he kicked a goal after the siren to win a game. Neither of those are getting him votes, but to be fair, we give him votes for less.
Yeah, that's true. We gave votes for a single spoil, I think,
My
on our
favourite is
first
the list
episode.
of 1 vote getters this year.
Okay.
Dan Turner.
Oh, yeah,
1
Disco.
vote. Jaff got 1 vote. I feel like he got a lot more last year. Zorko only got 1 vote this year because Fletcher
Stat
and
padding.
Wilmot have stolen his spot this year. Jack Payne got 1. Melican, pod favourite.
That's from you,
got 1.
surely.
Luke Cleary got 1 from the Bulldogs. That was
That's
definitely
also
from me.
you.
Brody only got 1 this year, and he had a really good year, but
Yeah.
Flostone got 22.
Yeah.
So that's where they went. Oscar McDonald got 1. That was from you.
I like that.
Ruben Jimby got 1, which he deserved because he...
That was on Cameron, right?
On Cameron,
That
yep.
might have been me.
Tom Brown got 1 for
Yeah,
just
deserve it. I think that was me.
exceptional kicking and the rundown tackle that was against West Coast.
If you see votes for Richmond players, it was probably me.
Tom McCarthy got 1, and before today,
Yeah.
Tom Stewart only had 1, so he jumps up a bit. But,
Damn.
yeah, we gave votes to over 80 players this year.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool spread.
It seems
I
a bit
think.
spread out because there were so many there just sitting in the low 20s to teens, and then obviously Harris Andrew, runaway winner.
And Collingwood and Adelaide, the first big final. It's not the first one. First on the weekend. It's Thursday night, isn't it? I think so.
Yeah.
They were the 2 best teams for scores against this year.
Interesting.
Which makes it for a fun matchup. Because Collingwood, they defend different ways. Like Adelaide defend very much with their backline, whereas Collingwood is they will run and pressure you through the midfield to force you to make mistakes defence.
You're gonna ask Harris Andrews to see if he wants to come on the podcast to accept his medal after calling him a cunt all year.
I stand by it. Craig Starcevich followed us on Twitter the other day, and
You've got an in.
if you listen... Hey, Craig, I know you do the women's team, but can you message Harris for me? It was really funny, especially because Beth was just listening to the Polly and Joe episode.
Yeah.
From when
Terrible
you were in hospital,
episode. I'm not in it.
where I talked about the Brisbane women's team, and I was saying it's one of the only women's team that I have so far developed a dislike for the way they play football. And I blamed Craig Starcevich's coaching.
now he follows you.
So it's so funny that he's the one actual coach.
Yeah, well, the good thing is no one follows your Twitter account for the podcast. So
No, they follow us for the goofy stats, and mostly I think the This Week in Football articles. But
it's rage baiting. You rage bait people.
I don't rage bait.
You rage bait. You rage
I
bait.
rage bait on my personal account much more than I rage bait on the back pocket.
You want me to go to your latest back pocket tweets to see how much rage bait there is?
No, I think the last one was me. Oh, it wasn't rage bait. It was and we can talk about this if we want, but I kind of want to avoid trade stuff for the next month because no one else fucking will.
Oh, because it's gone apocalyptic since the season ended for 10 teams.
10 teams. It's crazy. I wish we could leave that until after finals. But my last tweet was just joking about Silvagni saying he wasn't involved in the Silvagni deal. I was like, he's the list manager. It's worse if he's not involved.
Silvagni wasn't involved in his own club's list deal for his son? That's
as
impossible.
The list manager? The one before that,
doing all the heavy
the one
lifting.
before that was I made a Is That the Moon edit of
I
Callum
did see that.
pointing at the Harley Reid face.
You retweeted that one from your personal account, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
and I
thought it was funny.
That's dumb.
It was Will Slater, who lives suspiciously close to us.
Suspiciously?
Yeah. Then asking who people were cheering for out of the two farewell veterans between Fife and Swallow.
I've got an opinion on this.
Yeah.
So, Nathan Fife and
David Swallow, not Andrew Swallow.
In
not
my
his
head,
North
I was like,
Melbourne
no, alphabetical, go. They are both retiring, and it is tragic that two clubmen who have been so loyal to their club have not received the greatest honour. Nat Fife has 2 Brownlows and played in a grand final. I feel less bad
David
for
Swallow's
him.
never
He's had
played in a
This
final.
is his first final.
He could have chased success elsewhere.
100%.
He made the decision, he didn't have to play with them at 16 years old. They then followed that up by picking him with one of their first 3 picks, which they had to do.
Yep.
And he's been great for them.
Yep.
The fun thing for me is they're both on 247 games.
Which seems
So
crazy.
Neither
Fife's
of them
injuries
can
have-
make 250 unless they make the prelim.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I feel like it's rough that both of them have to play. Whoever wins this game has to play either the favourite for the flag or the second favourite for the flag next week away.
My heart is with Fremantle, the team, and my heart is with Swallow, the player.
I'm the same, right? I think that's how I break it down. I'd rather Freo won.
Nothing against Nathan Fife. He's a fantastic player.
Also, if
Terrible haircuts and goatees.
the goatee, the fact that was his Fox Footy bit for
David
so long
Swallow
was so funny.
never
Swallow
did
had
that.
the long hair for a bit. It looked good.
Oh, yeah. It was
looked
alright on
good.
him, actually.
I saw it the other day. I was like, it's like a built Ben Stewart.
That's a weird thing to reference.
The Freo one also, my personal thing is if Geelong make the grand final, it's way worse for me if they play Freo in the grand final because flights will cost millions of dollars.
That's true.
They've already put them up to 1,000 return on that weekend from Perth.
1,000 return is only about double the price.
Yeah, it's already double just because Freo are playing finals. But yeah, look, I was bullish on Freo at the start of the season. I think I picked them to play Brisbane in the grand final in my predictions.
Who knows?
I still think they have one of the highest ceilings in the game, but they also have a really low floor. Their worst is awful.
But you can say the same about Gold Coast.
And exactly, I was talking to some Freo fans today who asked what I thought, and I was like, I think that Freo have maybe the highest ceiling in the comp at the moment when all of their players are on, and probably the lowest floor.
Yeah, you take Sarong
and I
out
think
and it
Gold
drops
Coast
off.
have the second lowest floor of the teams in the 8.
Yeah.
Which makes it a fascinating game because if they both play to their best, close. If one of them plays close to their best and the other one close to their worst, it will
Could be a smashing.
Yeah, we've seen both of them get smashed by a good team and then belt a good team a week later, and you're like, how do you balance that out? Freo went over and beat Gold Coast in the rain on the Gold Coast before after losing to Melbourne. They have pretty nonsensical seasons.
That's just Freo on Gold Coast, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Gold Coast have struggled playing
Gold Coast
away.
won after the bye this year, which is just monumental for them.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about that game is it's obviously away from home for Gold Coast, which means it's the toughest.
Yeah, it's especially from the Gold Coast, it's the longest flight in footy, going from there to Perth.
China?
Yeah, well, that was only pre-COVID. Not because of COVID, just coincidentally. Or like if Freo had ever played in one of those New Zealand games, that would have been a...
I think St Kilda did. I don't
Was
remember
St
who the
Kilda-
other team.
Port?
Maybe Port did New
Yeah.
Zealand and China.
I think they might have, back in rolling out the tarps, they needed the money. Um,
Funniest place you could play.
Those
an
China
AFL
games
game.
are so funny because they're like clearly built in a stadium that was not
Yeah.
designed for football. Weird like amphitheatre rock stands on one side and it's just empty.
Well, I think
The people are all just in like the marquees and
That was I watched a good YouTube video about it, about the lost like the architecture of abandoned Olympics buildings, and obviously those are the kind of things they get used for, and they just sit abandoned when there's nothing else on, because no local sport is worth a stadium that large.
No.
So,
and that's where like at least with Brisbane they need a stadium.
yeah. And the good thing is we have a sport that gets enough people that it's usable.
Too.
Yeah. So like for them. I
meant cricket.
Oh.
Like in Brisbane 3, but they don't play in the round stadium for that. So
Yeah, like that's the benefit of, and that's why we end up getting
whereas like
so many
China's
Olympics,
basketball
right?
and soccer, so they don't need a round stadium for anything.
No.
It is, yeah, it's odd. It was like how recently in Perth, and it's because we don't have enough of a soccer or rugby presence here, that when the State of Origin comes here and when like the Socceroos and Matildas come here, they play at Perth Stadium. And it's like we have a rectangular stadium. Like we have one built for those events, but it only fits like 12,000 people in it. And any time we go, oh shit, that's right, we actually have an appetite for this when it's a professional level sport. And that might change when the North Sydney Bears move over here for rugby and everything else.
Doubt it.
I don't think Glory's ever going to get. It's just like one, they keep sucking every.
If they went on a generational run of wins,
if they had more than 1 year in a row of being good for a while, and if their memberships and tickets weren't so high priced for such a low demand product.
But I think that's the point, right?
Yeah.
Because it's low demand, they have to be higher priced.
Yeah. And it's hard because like I remember I got really behind. It was like 2016 or 17, I think, the year they almost won it. I was really enjoying it, but every time I was like, I'd love to go to a game, I look at it, I'm like, I'm not paying that much for a sport I kind of want to watch.
You don't even know the chance.
Yeah, so yeah, but football finals. Who's your tips this week?
Oh, I will be tipping Adelaide against Collingwood.
As will I.
I'm tipping Brisbane against Geelong.
As am I.
I am tipping. I'm tipping a draw. GWS Hawthorn's impossible
It's a
for me to pick.
fascinating
I
game.
think I'm going to go Hawthorn.
They have a terrible record at NG, what they call it now?
Yeah, NG.
Giant Stadium. But
I think of the bottom four sides, Hawthorn has the biggest upside for me, and it all comes from the tweaks that Sam Mitchell is able to make in a game.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I've seen Kingsley do it. Longmuir not so
I
much.
feel like GWS. I obviously was very strong on them being pretenders at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Their back half of this year has been really good.
Really good. Pretty much as soon as you declared them
As soon
kind
as
of
I-
shit,
as soon as-
they went hard.
Yeah, and look, they might do what they did last year in finals again
Yeah.
and just completely fall away. They finished top four, and I had similar beliefs last year, and they lost both of those games from winnable positions. But it's different this year. Like I feel like in the back half of last year, I felt like they were fluking wins.
Yeah.
Back half of this year, they've won games through a really strong game plan and missing like Taylor for games, missing Buckley for games, missing Hogan for a lot of games.
Yeah.
And they've covered really well.
And the fact is, will Hogan be fit for this game? Because if he's not...
It seems like he might not be.
But yeah, Hawthorn being able to go, okay, so we can literally have any player as the sub because we can move our entire team around.
Mm-hmm.
Hardwick, forward back. Sicily, forward back. Impey and Eamon can swap between wing and half back. They can go forward if they need.
Yeah.
How many goals did Impey kick just for fun
Four
recently?
goals in a week. in a game.
They can play four talls and not have them interfere with each other. They can sub one off if they need. They can go down to three.
Chol is such an asset with how fast and agile he is and how good he is below the knees.
He's also a good mark.
Because he functions like that mobile third tall rather than an actual tall, like a Fritsch
Mobile
Ollie Henry
third tall
type.
that can ruck is the dream.
And he's strong. Like he's really strong.
Yeah.
So I get why they can play the four forwards. Like we thought it was a weird experiment the first game, and then it's just worked ever since.
Yeah, we made fun of them pretty hard. And it went
the first time it flopped.
teething problems.
And then it's been great ever since. Because, well, that's right. I wrote it as my Stocks Down on the podcast, but we were recording during the Hawthorn-Collingwood game,
Yeah.
and they'd kicked like 12 goals already, and I was like, that's clearly not Stocks Down.
So yeah, and then the final game, I am tipping Freo.
Yeah, I'm
reasonably confident.
Yeah, same. I think one, they're just a better team, and two, it's here.
I think it is good that they finished in finals again, but I think going out week 1 would be a fail.
It would be brutal for them.
It would be a fail against Longmuir. With the season they've had,
There's layers of it to me where it's really interesting that both of these teams last year should have made finals and found different ways to fuck it up. Gold Coast was just failing to win it all after the bye.
yeah, and also just away from
Freo, like, they should have been top 4 this year, frankly. They lost games that took them out of...
100%.
They should have been top 4. Last year, it cost them the entire finals. This year, they managed to get that win against the Bulldogs they really needed, get that win against Port they really needed, get to a home final.
I feel like we'd be talking differently if they had made 4th. If they'd made 4th, I would feel much differently. I would say, making 4th
I
and
think
losing
if
to Adelaide and then
they'd
losing to
finished
someone else.
4th, I'd also be really bullish on them because they played really well in Queensland this year and they play really well. For the last 4 or 5 years, they've been great in Melbourne. So I would have thought that, like, they might lose to Adelaide if they copped them.
Yeah.
But then I would be reasonably confident on them to, at the MCG, play Geelong or Collingwood, or at the Gabba, play Brisbane.
Yeah.
So it's different finishing 5th for that reason.
So it's hard to mark them. Obviously, they've done the right thing with Longmuir's contract, but they're the team that has the most pressure on them in this final series outside of Collingwood.
Yeah.
Adelaide, no pressure because they literally have made the finals for the first time in this decade. No real pressure on Brisbane, they won the flag last year. No pressure on Geelong, they won the flag 2 years ago and have had no issues with their... 3 years ago. And they've had no real issues apart from missing that finals once. Collingwood, there's pressure on because they went so hard on those list changes.
But they
with
kept the old
Perriman
team. They
and-
bought in players to win the flag. I think they definitely have to make a prelim at minimum.
Yeah, Freo have to win a final. GWS and Hawthorn both have to win a final, otherwise it's a
and they're
fail.
playing each other. And that's where it's really
so
interesting.
one of them is going to be in trouble, but I don't think either of those coaches are in trouble.
No, I agree. I think that they'd be really disappointed with their season if they don't win a final.
Yeah.
But they're not in trouble. They're both very young teams with a good core as well. So
And then obviously
GWS hit half and half. But
Gold Coast get a free ride.
Yeah,
so
this is
first
their
final
first
series
final.
ever. What is it? Their second season under Dimmer? Third.
third, I think.
No.
Second. Yeah.
So that's good in itself, even though they were already in a good list spot. No pressure there. If they lose a final, they get the experience. We say goodbye to David Swallow and we buckle up for next year when they'll have defender.
Ballard.
ACL. They'll have Ballard back.
Who is one of the best
Yeah.
players in the comp.
Yeah.
And they've missed him all
At his
year.
best, so-
They've covered for him so well.
Yeah.
I think, despite obviously having teething issues, Mac Andrews done a great job.
Yeah, and that's the benefit.
Covering that,
They can
like,
have him as a third and swing him forward when need. They're small backs in Noble and Rioli and Powell. That's sorted. There's no issue there. So bringing Ballard back into that will really, really benefit them next year. Not to say they can't win a game this year. I think it's unlikely, but
Also, the way that we would expect Reid to develop in the forward line as a key, the way we would expect players like Bailey Humphrey to be better again. I feel like there's just a lot of improvement in their core group.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of downside.
No.
You've got really Collins, Swallow,
Miller's
Miller,
older, but he's still fine.
But that's really it when you look at the older core, right? Their midfield is Humphrey's obviously starting to go in there now, and he's great. But then Anderson and Rowell are still early 20s.
They're very young.
Both maiden All Australians this year. Witts is obviously one of the older players.
Yeah.
too. But
They do have a good backup ruck if they don't lose him in this off season.
I think making Anderson the captain this year was an inspired idea. Everyone was kind of surprised by it. They thought you'd either keep the duel they had last year or go to one of Witts or Miller.
Yeah.
But Anderson has clearly led from the front. It's made him better.
I wonder if it was just a upper management decision or whether they did the vote.
I think it was both. I think that Dimmer said we have one captain, and then was we're opening it to the floor. It's not do we want to keep the incumbents? It's who do you think will be our best? And they were right. It's Anderson. He's their best leader.
Come on down, Nick Holman, captain of the Gold Coast Suns.
We're recruiting beast mode. He's
That would
coming
be
in.
funny if they did do a piss take and voted in like a rookie.
I've always wondered, like,
Do you reckon there would be players
you'd override it, right? Oh, people would joke for sure.
Yeah.
But like, there's got to be like a coaching override if it gets out of hand.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the blokes would be sensible about it, but there's got to be.
Depends on who your coach is. My coach is Clarko. I want to get punched in the face if I vote for Finbar Maley. But
I'd vote for Maley for sure. He was down in Tassie this weekend. Now the North season's over, just to wrap up the agreements and stuff. And I saw a bunch of North fans being like, can he stay there?
it has been rough.
Well, it's him because obviously he was at Hawthorn when they had all the agreements in place. Like, he was the ambassador for the program.
Yeah, okay, I guess so. It just feels like someone that should be not in a match day role should be going. Right now, Clarko should be doing exit interviews and wrapping up the season.
And look, I know he's not an authoritative voice on anything, despite what some people say, but I saw James Hird talking about expecting big things from North next year and saying that he saw the most upside of them from the bottom four sides. And I was like, I don't know how you could watch Richmond and West Coast this year in the patches of really good footy they played. Like, I think that I saw more... They just didn't have the stamina or the experience to do it. But, like, I saw more in halves of football from Richmond and West Coast this year than North have shown me in 4 years.
I think
West Coast against Adelaide, Collingwood, Geelong and Carlton
yeah.
were awesome football. Brisbane as well.
Yeah.
In Brisbane. Like, they showed really good football. You can see McQualter's game plan. You can see these kids developing.
Richmond obviously didn't have the stamina to last the season, but they blew everyone away round one and then were just...
They won... People said that they were going to be the first team to win 0 games. They won 6.
Yeah, West Coast won 1.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Like, they won 6 games.
Did they win 6?
Yeah, I think so. Was it 6?
Nah, that doesn't seem right to me. I feel like North won 6.
Maybe North won 6. Richmond won 5 games.
5, yeah.
That's, like, from 0 to 5. And then, like, they have uncovered a bunch of talent and youth. And, like, West Coast, you can see Hewitt is good. We know what Reed's going to be.
4 games
Jimby's
on the
becoming
bottom of the ladder.
a
That's
really
crazy.
good player. Like, I see it. The structure is there, like, their forwards and backs in key positions. I don't think that the loss of Allen... I think it almost helps them, if anything. Like, they get a good draft pick out of that, and they didn't have him at all this year. I'm weirdly bullish on West Coast for a team that won 1 game this year be better.
I'm of the opinion that if a player doesn't want to be at the club, get him out.
Yeah, unless
I
they're
think
Tom
of the
Papley
very few examples where players have stayed and then the team's got a better deal the next year is very low. It's Tim Kelly and it's Bryce Gibbs, right?
The only alternative is Tom Papley, who just stayed forever.
Yeah.
But that was a family thing, and
that was a family
the
thing,
circumstances changed.
And the only reason that deal didn't get done is because Dodoro's insane.
yeah. That was what I was saying to an Essendon fan. I was talking about the draft. And they were like, I hope we don't fuck it this time. I was like, well, I feel like now Matt Rose is doing it.
Yeah, it should be better.
And they were like, oh, Caddy was under Doro. I was like, no, Caddy was under Doro and Rosa. That was when Rosa was also in charge, and then Kako was Rosa. Those two look good. Yeah, like actually good. It's going to be interesting. Like, Essendon will have multiple picks this year.
It's impossible to say that Dodoro wasn't good at stuff. Like, obviously,
he was just
you've got qualms
famously
about him, but
dick
like
to deal with.
Merritt is a fantastic draft pick.
Yeah.
Obviously,
McGrath's
Ridley,
a good footballer. We like McGrath.
Redman. They picked so many like.
It's just
D'Ambrosio.
It's
obviously
just
they
your Harrison Joneses and your
Nick Cox.
And
until this year, Zach Reed,
Perkins and Sardis and those kinds of players where you're like, we're like,
but that's like towards the end of Dodoro's tenure. The stuff before, obviously they had misses, but
a big thing for me was I think he had to go just to clear out some of the rot. Like, he was one of the last remaining parts of the old club.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Like, he was appointed by Sheedy as an assistant coach when Sheedy started. Like, he's been there that long.
It's crazy that Carlton and Essendon have both been shit for almost 20 years and they're still trying to get rid of people who are part of the problem.
Yeah. I saw some Essendon fans being like, see, like, everyone can't stop talking about it. All these trade picks. It's like, they're talking about players wanting to leave your club. Your captain wanting to leave. Like, that's not good.
No.
That's not big club stuff.
No.
That was what was happening to Brisbane when they were bad.
I wish people would fucking stop talking about my club.
Yeah. But this time of year is when you don't want them talking about your club unless they're playing finals. Look, I think that we've talked about this before. I think Brad Scott is a good coach.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an excellent coach, but I do think he's a good coach.
We've both been quite impressed by what he's doing with setting expectations.
They have been hard to watch, but he's prevented them from getting blown away most of the time. The players they've uncovered this year have been really good.
They've basically locked in their forward line for the majority of the next 8 years, I'd say.
Absolutely. I think they're in a much better position than... I wrote that article at the start of the year telling Essendon fans to,
settle down.
If you win games, don't get excited. This is a rebuild.
Yeah.
I'm happier now than I was then when I wrote that article with where they're at. They've bought out more young talent.
And I think sometimes being forced to do that is good for it.
It's given Scott the freedom to do what he wanted to do without the expectation of winning games. And they still won more games than I think. You look at that list we've had for the second half of the year.
Yeah, 6 games is all right for the amount of mid-season drafts and top-up players they've had to play.
They drafted a ruck from the Waffle to put him at full back for most of the year. Who each man were like, please give him back, and they didn't sign him back, and each man lost. But it's been crazy to watch their season this year. It's been one of the weirder ones. They played the most debutants ever. At the end, I do feel like they were just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
Only one player didn't debut.
Yeah, Guerin.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Made up name. I loved seeing the Best First Year Player Award, and Hawthorn and Geelong had to nominate a player who'd never played a game.
I felt bad. I do feel bad, and obviously he's been delisted now, but with the amount of injuries they had and the lack of form from players like Gresham...
Davey never got a...
Davey Jr. didn't get a shout.
He surely deserved a look in.
They tried him at half back too, and apparently he was doing well in the VFL, so...
It's very strange. I wonder
it's one of those things where, maybe it's the complete polar opposite of what Carlton did with Jack Silvagni. They gave him too long. Essendon probably maybe didn't give Davey Jr. enough. I know Geelong cut their feet off their father's sons very quickly.
Yeah, there was some again. Brownless was top 5 in the VFL Best and Fairest, and they just flicked him without ever giving him a game.
Was the other one?
Yeah, Riccardi, I don't think he showed as much. But
but still.
They just cut them off pretty quick.
And that's good because it's worked for Geelong because they could bring in a Lawson Humphreys and it works and they keep him. They bring in Manor.
But then the inverse is, obviously it's not a father-son pick, but you cut off someone like a Voss for not showing as much, and then...
I feel like with Keys it's rough. We've talked about it pre-podcast in our pre-podcast that we record just for us with the mics off, about how Jacob Blight's just been let go from Richmond, and I feel like there's every chance that as a key defender he gets picked up again.
Yeah, Bulldogs need a player like that.
Yeah.
Carlton need a player like that.
And the fact that he gets slot into a team that isn't as under fire as Richmond's,
I bet Rory Lobb would love to have Jacob Blight in that backline alongside him. It was a strange one, but if they're not going to trade out some of the players they've been rumoured to have on the table, then Richmond can't have that many key defenders. I think they've got a lot now.
We end up talking about trades and delistings.
Anyway. Yeah, which we didn't want to do, but that's fine.
All right, one question.
Yeah.
What is your weirdest but possible trade/player movement for 2025 into 26? So something that is weird, but you could see happening.
Stephen May ends up at the Bulldogs.
Okay. That would be good for them.
Which leads to Riley Sanders ending up at Carlton.
Okay. I could see something similar. My thought would be Stephen May going to the Bulldogs and then Liam Jones returning to Carlton. Fourth club, but only the second club.
two club, 4 club player.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like that. Yeah. Jack Gunston traded back to Brisbane.
That would be crazy. They could have used him this year.
Yeah, they could have.
They really could have.
They needed him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so trying to stay out of trade head at the moment.
It's hard because
when I posted it today, it was so funny. Someone commented back to me straight away. I didn't know the Silvagni thing had gone through, but I made the post being like, we just have to hold on for 1 month. There's 9 games. It's 1 month. Just hold off. And then someone goes 5 minutes after you posted this, Silvagni's been announced.
Yeah.
And then St Kilda, and look, you do you, but you can't high horse respecting the process and not making a statement in a statement. The statement you made is a statement, right? You made a full social media post that's several paragraphs long being like, we're going to send the offer to Silvagni in October, as is the rules. Okay, whatever. He fucking nominated... you've been... Anyway, not making the post is the way of actually not talking about it until October. You still made the post.
Oh, Stephen Silvagni had to let it be known that they're putting the offer to his son.
I wasn't there. I wasn't involved. I'm the list manager. I wasn't managing the list. I walked out of the room. Gubby Allen did everything.
It's really funny because I read, and obviously there's some insider information, but I was reading an account of the Silvagni, Lloyd, and who was the president at the time? I can't remember. I can't say his name. Lojadice or
Judas.
Yeah, LeJudas.
Yeah.
I have a 24 karat gold LeJudas. And
LeJudas.
It was a situation where when Sauce was brought across by LeJudas, he was just given free rein. Like he was able to step above anyone, and then Brad Lloyd tried to make it a collaborative effort.
Leod.
And it got to the point where Stephen Silvagni was drafting Ben Silvagni and his friend, popular player, hundreds of games, well-respected Finbar Dwyer, to the list.
That's the name I've forgotten about.
Just because he was close
That's
with
a guy
Ben
that I'd
Silvagni.
turn on an AFL game on the PlayStation and be like, oh, fuck, yeah, that's a guy who was on a list once.
I think there was a couple of players that they wanted, like the list manager at the time wanted ahead of, not list manager, the other, what's it called? Head of football.
Yeah.
Would have liked instead, but they drafted Finbar Dwyer, who was a complete miss. And that led to the nepotism stuff. Obviously, Ben Silvagni left on bad terms.
Yeah.
Stephen Silvagni left on bad terms. I feel like he's still trying to get back at Carlton somehow.
He's doing the same thing to
That he
Carlton
did
as he did to GWS. He's just rating the list of players
They've
that
got
he...
Stocker. They've got Carroll.
Yeah.
They've got... There's another
Dow.
one. They've got Dow. They've now got
Silvagni
TDK
and TDK.
Silvagni.
Funny. It's a bit funny.
They've got a spare $2 million. They can try and get Kerno as well if they want to trade all their picks. But
And then, like, in a few years' time, you're going to watch Philippou and Owens and all these players get squeezed out because they're like, we can give you $500K.
Yeah, it's like it'll be good players that shouldn't be squeezed. To have
Jack
like
Steele back to
Sinclair and Wilkie, who are not old now, but they will be in 5 years. But they'll be squeezed out before their time.
You'll see them get like a legacy season at a good club and like look really good.
You think Philippou and Owens aren't going to be $1 million players?
like,
Look at them; they're
Philippou's
incredible.
Even like Garcia, like he showed enough this year.
Boxall was good too.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not going to be $1 million
Tauru
players
as well. Like,
and who's the other one? New. Fuck. It was Tauru and Wilson from.
Darcy Wilson, very good.
Yeah.
Keeler also showed promise. This year.
There's gonna be a squeeze if the alleged prices are correct.
Yes. Which is always the problem, right?
It's so interesting. I don't want to dwell on this thing too
I
much,
feel
but
like
it's crazy.
It's more true with players moving clubs than players staying at the club. Like, I think that the info the journos get fed on a free agency or trade is more accurate than...
Because it has to go through the AFL's calculations, right?
Yeah. So I think signings is always the one where... Like, that's why Max Gorn was like, I'm not anywhere near that much money, because then they have to estimate. They can't...
Like, the Rich 100 came out, and I saw... what was it? Oliver and Petrarca both being touted as $1.3 million this year. That can't be correct. There's no way that list management would allow two players to be
that back-ended?
Yeah.
No.
They would front-end one and backload the other. They would even that out. It just doesn't seem right. But
while we've been off for 2 weeks, to move away from trade talk, there's been a couple of weeks of the W on.
Oh, yeah.
In which some teams have murdered other teams in some games that you're like, oh, wow, they can score. And then there's been some really good games in between. The Carlton Hawthorn game was awesome.
Yeah, low scoring, but good.
It broke my heart, but the Geelong Sydney game was a really, really good game of football.
That was brutal.
But like, there's been some really great football.
Collingwood play this week? Melbourne.
Yeah.
That was good.
There's been some... Yeah, that was an awesome game as well. Like, Collingwood had 2 chances to either draw or win that and fell short. It's just been really great to watch. Like, you can see... I saw someone talking about it, I think it was Jen Bastiani. She was saying that, like, the first week was really like... here's all the debutants and how good they are. Like, in the first week, we saw so many players, like obviously Havana Harris and Lashia Painter. Obviously, Ash Centra had her moment, but Zippy Fish, who's just incredible. Like, she's a freak. Like, 3 games in, and she's one of the best players in the comp already. And then the second week, we had like the big improvers step up. And we saw a lot of players who were first or second year players last year really showing their merit. And then the third week was a lot of the veterans really being like, hang on, like, we've really got to step up our game. And it's making for a really competitive, like even within teams environment. Like we're seeing players realising that if they don't make the step up, they're going to get surpassed by their teammates.
Or the Irish.
And it's really making for a great environment. Both of the Schultz girls were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the Port Adelaide Schultz, that goal she kicked was one of the craziest things I've seen in my life. What, she had 4 goals or something?
I can check. I've got it open.
She was awesome. And then, like, Carlton probably don't win that game without her sister playing the game that she did. I think that it's been crazy to see we saw it last year, the influence Daisy Pearce had on West Coast.
Yeah.
This year, even more so. Like, they are a very,
I think they do have a good list, though.
They do, I agree. But, like, they went from winning 6 games in their history to winning 6 games in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
The way Sydney have turned it on with Malloy coming back and Fish coming in, they're a better team instantly. And Carlton are a 50% better team than last year as well.
Yeah,
the improvement's been crazy. And like I was looking at the fixture and I think they'll make it. But Brisbane have been one of the best teams for a long time and they're now at risk of missing finals with the draw they've got.
You lose 2 of your first 3.
Yeah. Like I think I was looking at Geelong's and I was like, I still think it's unlikely they make it after losing the first 3. But their draw obviously gets easier from here after drawing North, Adelaide and Sydney in your first 3 games. But like it does get better from there. But like they've lost 3. They've got to win probably 6, 7 of the next 9.
Yeah.
And then Brisbane because they made the grand final, they don't get the pleasure of a draw that's a bit more comfortable.
No.
And we saw what the record, just about the record score ever put on one day and then it was broken the next day.
And the other thing is you had 2 on the weekend, the Geelong-Sydney game and the Carlton-Brisbane games, 2... For the time length of those games, 2
what
really
you want
well
scoring
scored.
wise, right?
Was
Like
it 9 goals to 6?
Yeah, and like for the length that quarters go for, that's what you want from an AFLW game.
Yeah,
they're getting 16-minute quarters. If you're getting 9 goals a team, perfect. That's the ideal. Just give them regular sized footballs. Like we watched a little bit of that Legends match.
Enough to.
Kate McCarthy was fucking awesome.
They were having fun. They were just having fun.
And like you can see the difference. Like using it, and if you've ever kicked a ball that's not regulation size, it does feel wrong. They are harder to kick as far or as well. The women have been asking for a regulation ball for years.
And they're doing pretty well without it, watching the games this past 2 weekends. So
I just think that like if we can get the regulation balls in... I don't care about the quarters, really.
Get those regulation balls.
I don't really care about the quarter length. I think that like that's just you deal with that scoring-wise. But if you give them regulation-sized footballs and give them a full list of players, not the wings removed...
Yeah.
It's not really the wings, is it? It's like a half forward and a half back that you lose. Give them a full 18. Because if you're trying to set up on the field and you already kick it 15 metres less, having 2 less players makes it way harder.
You do see a lot of empty space on those fields at times.
Yeah, except for North Sydney, where it's ping pong because it's the smallest oval in the world. That's the funniest one where people are like, I think they should make the women play on smaller ovals. And then you watch any game at North Sydney and you're like, I feel like I'm watching a bad game of basketball. Like it is just inside 50 to inside 50. Also, Ella Roberts is insane.
Yeah.
I loved that I got to see that first game where she really took it by the scruff of the neck. She was drafted as a full forward. She's like the Bont prototype for AFLW. She's full key forward size, running through the midfield, getting 20, 25 disposals a week. She's like my height. Like
20-25 disposals, that's crazy.
Yeah, 20-25 disposals. Also give them 17 games. That's the other thing to fix in the comp.
If the thing is the AFL's too far gone to bring it back to 17, AFLW is perfect length.
Yeah, you can just put it to 17 and leave it.
Leave it.
And then the draw, everyone plays each other once.
As even as you can be with home games, etc.
Home and away, but like at least everyone plays each other once. That's the best
outcome you can hope for.
It's 17 or fucking 34, which is insane. We can't do 34.
Maybe if you...
I just really hope that the AFL does take advantage of, if we bring in a 20th team, bringing it back to 22 games and just going, everyone gets their rivalry game plus a bye. I don't think it'll happen because they've signed all the TV rights deals. And Gather Round, obviously.
And rivalry is impossible. If Tasmania are in, who's their rival? Is it the 20th team? It won't be a Tasmanian rival.
No.
Who's the Bulldogs' rival? It's GWS, right? GWS's rival is Sydney.
Bulldogs gets to be Geelong because they're both from the west of Melbourne.
What about St Kilda? They play North. It's
I agree.
It's like 8 blockbuster games.
You'd have to have like a 2-week rivalry round because like then you can get Geelong can play Hawthorn and like someone else, and Carlton can play Essendon and Collingwood and that kind of thing.
The way it's going, Carlton will be playing their second team against St Kilda in rivalry round.
St Kilda and Fremantle it's developing into for some reason.
I think that was previously something, but...
No, I meant Carlton, St Kilda and Carlton Fremantle.
Ugh, Carlton Fremantle. Depends on where it's played.
Carlton Fremantle has been some of the greatest games of the last 10 years for no reason.
That Jordan Clark descent is still one of the funniest things.
I loved people being reminded that he played under-17s cricket for Australia the other day because Freo posted a TikTok of them playing like cricket inside, and he's running off like 5 steps and they're just like flying out of the hand, and poor guys at the other end just like, I have no fucking idea what has happened there.
Who's your indoor mate?
Yeah, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. He was on.
That was a funny bit. We should do more funny bits more often.
We've never done a funny bit ever. Anyway, we actually recorded a long episode with 0 notes. So
0 notes, and it's also midnight.
It's we didn't do it yesterday because it was too late, and now it's way later. We may do a wrap up episode. I may do an episode with Polly and Joe again. If not, we will see you next year.
Jolly and Poe.
It's like Teletubbies.
Yeah. You seen all those Teletubby kids? They're scary.
Yeah.
They race match to those babies in a weird way.
Oh no, not. I don't want to get into the race science of Teletubbies. Actually, one thing before we leave, we talked a lot of shit about Isaac Rankin before he left. I think that in hindsight, the club handled that as bad as they could. If he was able to give the speech that he gave to the media the other day 3 days after the event, had they just accepted the sanction, and he spoke exactly the way he did,
we wouldn't talk about it.
It would be a totally different scenario.
Whoever sent him on holiday should be fired.
That's as good of a speech as a footballer could give in that circumstance.
Yeah. I think, considering, obviously, it doesn't absolve him of the fact that he said a word he should not have said. I do think maybe there should have been more apology to the community, but, for someone...
I also like that he said that he's going to apologise to the fans and the W players and all that, in his... No notes either, that was all off. He may have memorised it.
He had a whole plane ride.
It's a long flight. 16-hour flight, and you're like, the media, fuck me. How long do you reckon he spent sitting in the airport lounge,
No, could you imagine how uncomfortable it is on a 16-hour flight and then getting up and just immediately having to apologise? It's the only thing I feel for him on.
Yeah. That's his punishment.
Yeah. His punishment should be he has to take a 16-hour flight before the grand final.
He wasn't gone long enough. You know what I mean? If you're flying 16 hours return, that's not a long enough trip to be doing that. You know what I mean?
There's a couple of things that I would fly 16 hours for only a week. But
brutal, yeah.
Yeah.
He could have just gone to, Deniliquin or something. I don't know. No one's going to recognise Isaac Rankin in Deniliquin.
No, probably not.
Anyway, thank you as always for listening. We will see you next year, next week, next month. Who knows? Enjoy.